Discover the incredible story of a young girl who sold candy and changed her life forever. Lily Johnson stood in front of the mirror, her chest tight with determination. This summer was going to be different. While her friends chatted excitedly about summer camp, Lily's dreams seemed to slip through her fingers. Her father, a proud veteran, had recently lost his job, and the weight on her family's shoulders felt heavier than ever. She remembered his sad smile, and something inside her sparked. "One tea let us down," she whispered to herself with a fierce resolve. Lily hatched a plan. She would start making candy. Homemade treats could bring in some much-needed cash. Her kitchen turned into a colorful candy lab, filled with laughter as she experimented with daring delights like lavender lemon and esmores in a jar. Each batch was a labor of love, a testament to her courage and skill. She pictured the summer camp, the campfires and friendships ahead, fueling her creativity. Setting up her candy stand on the bustling main street of Maplewood was a whirlwind of excitement and fear. Vibrant signs read, "Sweet treats by Lily," and she watched as people passed by with mixed reactions. Some laughed softly, their comments drifting to her like pesky flies. "What's a kid doing selling candy?" Others shrugged, rolling their eyes. But a few lingered, drawn in by the sweet scents wafting through the air. "Try my lavender lemon candy," she called, her voice ringing with youthful enthusiasm. Slowly, curious buyers started to appear. Each smile from a customer was like a warm hug, confirming she was on the right path. Yet, with every high came a low. Her classmates mocked her, their laughter like daggers. Each jab stung made her second-guess her dreams. "Why can't they see what I'm doing for my family?" she thought during sleepless nights. Just when she felt an upward surge, disaster struck. Mr. Harris, the grumpy owner of the local candy shop, caught wind of her venture. His booming voice echoed down the street, claiming she was infringing on his business. Panic clamped around her heart like a vice. Vulnerable and isolated, Lily's confidence crumbled. "Maybe this was a stupid idea," she mumbled, tears prickling her eyes as despair settled in before she could spiral. Her family wrapped around her, a lifeline in her storm. They gathered, sharing stories of resilience and love until the blue clouds of doubt began to clear. "We believe in you, Lily. You have to keep going," her mom said softly, squeezing her hand. Their words rekindled the spark within her. She realized the town wasn't just watching, they were rooting for her. Interest in her venture snowballed, and the community rallied, sharing her story on social media. What started as timid whispers turned into energetic chatter. Support poured in, bolstering Lily's spirits. Yet, the feud intensified. Mr. Harris was relentless, and now the whole town was in a brawl. The power of community spirit versus established economic interests. Amid rising tensions, Lily stood at a daunting crossroads, balancing her burgeoning entrepreneurial dream against the burden of community judgment. The struggle tugged at her heartstrings. Did they believe in her as she believed in herself? The crowd at her stand grew, people gossiping and laughing, and her candy was flying off the shelves, heart pounding. Ready for anything, Lily prepared for a showdown against Mr. Harris and every doubt that threatened her fragile hopes. Would perseverance and the love surrounding her be enough to conquer the odds? With her family's future on her shoulders and her own identity at stake, that everlasting question hung in the air. Could the sweetness of her dreams defy the bitter challenges ahead? Lily took a deep breath as she stood at her candy stand, the sun bathing her in golden light. The crowd around her buzzed with excitement, but all she could feel was a knot of nerves tightening in her stomach. Across the street, Mr. Harris glowered from the entrance of his candy shop, arms crossed. He looked like a storm cloud ready to burst, and his cold glare sent shivers down her spine. "Just breathe," she murmured to herself, her fingers running over the smooth glass jars filled with her rainbow-colored confections. The lavender lemon candies glimmered like tiny suns, while the esmores in a jar beckoned passers-by with their gooey charm. This was her moment. Her heart raced with the thrill of defiance. As the familiar faces of her friends passed by, some with smirks, others with curiosity, Lily's chin lifted. "Free samples," she shouted, smiling as brightly as she could. "I promise you one tea, regret it." A few hesitant souls stepped closer, intrigued by the delicious aroma. After they took a bite, their faces lit up. "This is amazing," one girl exclaimed, and Lily felt a warmth spreading inside her, pushing the cold fear aside. I love the lavender. Another added. Each compliment was a tiny victory, fueling her hope, but the air turned heavy as Mr. Harris approached, his shadow looming large over her fragile stand. Lily Johnson, he thundered, causing the crowd to hush. You think you can just set up shop here, don't you? You're taking business from me. Lily's heart raced. She swallowed hard, summoning her courage. I'm not trying to take anything from you, Mr. Harris. I just want to help my family. But you're just a kid. He barked, the disbelief in his voice making her skin prickle. Kids like you don't understand real business. A wave of disbelief washed over Lily. Why couldn't he see that this wasn't just a hobby? I believe in my candy and my dreams, she shouted back, feeling a defiant spark igniting within her. It's not about competition. It's about community. The crowd murmured. A ripple of support echoed among her customers. A woman stepped forward, fists on her hips. We've been rooting for this young woman, she declared. She's bringing something fresh to Maplewood. Others joined, chiming in, backing her up. Yeah, Lily's candy is the best. Mr. Harris took a step back, stunned by the support swirling around Lily. She had ignited something in the town, a shift in perspective. This was no longer just about her candy. It was about their community coming together. I just want to make people smile, she added, her voice trembling slightly. And help my family. Mr. Harris, still glaring but unsettled, turned abruptly and marched back to his shop, leaving a trail of murmurs among the crowd. Their affection wrapped around her like a warm blanket, urging her onward with renewed grit. Lily looked out at the faces that were now beaming back at her. Thank you all. I can't do this without you. Let us keep the sweetness alive. As laughter bubbled up and candy was exchanged for cash, Lily felt a surge of pride. Each sale felt like a small victory, not just for her but for the entire community. They believed in her, and together they were transforming her dream into a reality, one candy at a time. But just as the sun began to set and the last customer left, Lily spotted Mr. Harris lingering near the door of his shop. He didn't look angry but contemplative, as if something was shifting inside him. What would happen next? Would his stubbornness hold strong? Or could this moment of community spirit change everything? Lily's heart raced again, but this time with anticipation, curious as to what might unfold next in their unfolding story. Lily watched as the last of the patrons drifted away, their laughs mingling with the sweet scents still swirling around her stand. The vibrant colors of her candy glowed softly, reflecting the fading light of day. She felt like she was on top of the world, yet the sight of Mr. Harris still lingering by his shop nagged at the back of her mind. What was he thinking? Was he plotting another confrontation? Or was he reconsidering everything he had thrown at her? The uncertainty clenched her stomach tighter than before as the sun dipped lower. She wiped her hands on her apron, trying to gather her thoughts. You did good today, she whispered to herself, trying to ignore the doubt creeping in. She had stood her ground, fought for her dream, and sparked a fire in her community. With every piece of candy sold, she was not just helping her family, she was creating joy. And that made her proud. But pride couldn't silence her worries about Mr. Harris. Deciding to distract herself, Lily busied her hands with packing away her jars. She noticed the young boy from earlier circling back, almost shyly. His eyes widened as he stared at the vibrant pink cotton candy in the jar. Can I have one more? He asked, the eagerness in his voice melting her heart. Of course. And here's a little extra, she said brightly, slipping him a piece of lavender lemon candy that always seemed to bring a smile. His face lit up with delight, a confirmation of the joy she was trying to generate. Thank you, Lily. He beamed before darting off. Her heart swelled again. This was what it was all about, the happiness her candy could bring to the kids in town. As she secured the last of her jars, she glanced over at Mr. Harris once more. He stood with his arms folded, watching her. His frown deepened as their eyes locked for a fleeting moment, filling the space between with a mix of tension and unspoken words. Yet, something in his expression held the tiniest hint of contemplation. Then, as if sensing her gaze, he turned sharply away and disappeared into the shadows of his shop. Why did that feel so final? With a huff, Lily snapped the lid onto her last jar. She needed reassurance. She turned to her friends who had gathered nearby, still bubbling with excitement from the day. What do you think? Was it okay? They rushed toward her, eager and animated. "You were amazing," one girl declared, bouncing on her feet. Mr. Harris looked like he didn't know what hit him. "I didn't think you'd have it in you to stand up to him like that," another exclaimed, the awe in her voice giving Lily more fuel than she thought she needed. A thought scratched at her brain. Do you think he'll try to shut me down again?" They exchanged glances, uncertainty flashing through them for just a second before returning with bright smiles. "You've got the whole town behind you," a boy chimed in confidently. "If he tries anything, we'll all stand together." Feeling bolstered by her friends, Lily's mind shifted to the possibilities ahead. There was strength in community, and if they truly supported her, maybe she could turn this dream into something bigger. "Let us celebrate. Who's ready for a candy party tomorrow?" she shouted, her voice filling with infectious enthusiasm. Cheers erupted, and the laughter echoed around the bustling square, brighter than before. It was then that she realized Mr. Harris might be a challenge, but she wasn't alone. With every sweet smile, she felt hope rising that as the last of the crowd dispersed, her thoughts turned back to him. What would it take for Mr. Harris to see the community she was building? Would tomorrow bring more surprises? The air buzzed with potential, and she tucked her dread away for just a moment longer, choosing instead to embrace the excitement ahead. But beneath it all lay a question: could she truly change his heart? Or would he always be an obstacle in her path? The thought lingered as she packed her things, leaving her with eagerness but also uncertainty about how far they could go together as a community. The morning sun spilled into the town square, casting a warm golden glow. Lily's heart raced with anticipation as she set up her candy stand, the vibrant jars glimmering like jewels. Today was the day she had promised her friends. The candy party was underway. She envisioned laughter, music, and the sweet smell of happiness filling the air. She caught glimpses of families arriving, their faces alight with curiosity. Children tugged their parents' hands, pointing toward her colorful display. Each eager smile filled her with energy. Still, a flutter of anxiety danced in her stomach. Would Mr. Harris show up? Would he try to ruin her celebration? She had prepared herself for anything, determined that today would be different. As she poured out batches of cotton candy, a small crowd began to gather. "Lily, is the candy ready?" a familiar voice called out. It was Tommy, the boy who had come back for more the day before. He bounced on his feet, impatience radiating from him. "It's all yours," she laughed, handing him a cone of the fluffy pink treat. It was moments like these that reminded her why she fought so hard. As the atmosphere bristled with excitement, Lily noticed Mr. Harris across the square, lingering at the edge of the crowd. His brow furrowed, arms once again crossed tightly over his chest. She felt her heart sink a bit. Would he ruin everything? "Look, Mr. Harris is here," someone whispered, pointing. Lily's emotions twisted inside her. She tried to focus on the joy around her, but his presence cast a shadow over the celebration. "Hey, why don't we show him how much fun it is?" one of her friends suggested, a daring gleam in their eye. The idea began to spread like wildfire. "Let us invite him over," another chimed in, and suddenly the notion of facing him didn't feel so daunting. With hesitant resolve, Lily stepped towards Mr. Harris, her pulse quickening with each stride. As she got closer, the laughter and chatter of the crowd faded into the background. "Mr. Harris," she called out, her voice steadying as she bounded to him. "Why don't you come join us? We're having a candy party." He looked surprised, perhaps even caught off guard by the invitation. For a moment, a flicker of something curiosity, maybe crossed his stern face. "I think the townsfolk would appreciate seeing you enjoy the carnival spirit just as much as anyone else," she added, trying to draw him in with warmth. Her heart pounded, hoping he would say yes. "Just look at how happy they are." She gestured to the kids, who were giggling and sampling treats. A part of her wanted to reach out, to bridge the gap she felt between them. He was quiet for a moment, staring at her as if weighing the decision. Suddenly, a chorus of laughter erupted nearby, drawing both their attentions. A little girl spun in delight, her cotton candy twirling in the air like a magic wand. For the first time, Lily saw a hint of softness in Mr. Harris's expression, a crack in the armor he wore. But would it be enough? As he opened his mouth to respond, The sound of a bell echoed in the distance, signaling a town-wide contest to start soon. The distracted crowd began to move, and Lily felt a pang of urgency. Would this be her chance, or would she lose him to the commotion of the festivities? Would Mr. Harris step into the light of the candy party, or retreat back to his shadowy shop? The answer lingered between them, a cloud of hope and anxiety that could change everything about her mission to bring joy to her little town. As the bell rang, casting a ripple of excitement through the square, Lily felt the weight of the moment pressing down on her. Mr. Harris shifted his gaze from her to the buzzing crowd, clearly torn. The anticipation hung in the air like the scent of melted chocolate. "Come on, Mr. Harris." Tommy's voice piped up from behind Lily, bridging the gap. "You have to try the candy. It's the best in town." Lily nodded vigorously, sensing that collective hope might tip the scales in her favor. She took a small step closer to him, her heart racing. "It's made with the happiest ingredients," she added, her voice earnest. "Why not make this party even brighter?" The crowd was alive now, with children darting around, parents laughing, and the music twirling through the air. All Mr. Harris had to do was take a step forward. But he hesitated, his brows knitting together again. "I'm not here to join a foolish fest," he muttered, flicking his gaze back toward his shop. Lily felt her heart sink, the joy around her dimming slightly. "It's not foolish," she said, her voice soft but firm. "It's about community. The same community you've been a part of. They would love to see you smile." At that, the crowd grew quiet, curiosity flickering in their eyes as they watched the exchange. Tommy tugged on Mr. Harris's sleeve like a younger sibling might, pleading with unmasked innocence, "Just try one, please." In that moment, something shifted within Mr. Harris. He straightened up, looked over the smiling faces of children and adults alike, and his expression softened just a little more. "You all want me to join your candy party?" His words were skeptical but not as harsh as before. "Yes," came the chorus from the crowd, a tidal wave of enthusiastic affirmation. Laughter erupted again, and Lily felt the warmth of support wrapping around them all. Taking a deep breath, Mr. Harris finally stepped forward, uncertainty dancing in his eyes. "All right. Just one cone," he said, an attempt at gruffness barely masking a hint of an impending smile. Lily's heart soared. "You won't regret it," she declared as she quickly prepared a cone piled high with colorful candy. As she handed it to him, she felt like she was handing over a piece of her heart, a sign of trust that melted the icy barrier between them. As he took the cone, rather uncertainly, a soft chuckle escaped him at the sight of a child trying to steal a taste from his treat. The laughter swelled in the air again, now laced with the promising notes of acceptance. But before Lily could bask in the victory, she noticed out of the corner of her eye, a shadow. Another figure stood at the edge of the square. It was the mayor, watching curiously but with a frown. With a sudden pang of worry, she recalled the strict rules surrounding events in town. Would he approve of this folly? Still, she found herself caught up in the moment, encouraging everyone around to gather closer, eager to spread joy rather than fear. Just then, a brave little boy shouted, "Mr. Harris, tell us how you make the candies." Lily's heart raced. She had not just brought Mr. Harris to the party, she may have opened a door to something greater. Little did she know, the mayor's disapproval could add a twist she hadn't anticipated. Would Mr. Harris's newfound acceptance hold strong against the scrutiny of authority? Would this moment of joy withstand the weight of town politics? Lily stood beside Mr. Harris, watching the crowd gather around him. It felt surreal. She had only wanted to share a bit of joy with the candy she had worked so hard to create. Now, here he was, cone in hand, and the children looked at him with wide eyes, expecting magic. The mayor's frown deepened and Lily's heart sank. She was acutely aware of how fragile this moment was. Would a scolding from the mayor shatter their newfound connection? "Come on, Mr. Harris," another child shouted. "Tell us how you made the cherry fizz. It's my favorite." The adults in the crowd nodded, some even stepping closer, eager to hear his response. Suddenly Lily realized that they weren't just here for the candy. They were here for Mr. Harris to hear a bit of his story. Tentatively, Mr. Harris cleared his throat. "Well, it starts with A. I mean, it's as simple as mixing through the." His voice trailed off, frustration evident in his hesitation. Lily felt a pulse of courage. "People want to hear from you, Mr. Harris. You have so much to share." His brow furrowed deeply at her encouragement, but behind that facade, she caught a flicker of something, perhaps interest or even excitement. The crowd began to hum with impatience, waiting for him to spill his secret. There was a collective remembrance of simpler times, when joy sometimes came from tasting something sweet. With a sigh, Mr. Harris softened. "All right. The cherry fizz starts with real cherries. Doesn't tea matter the size, as long as they're ripe? We mix in sugar, fresh cream, and a splash of vanilla. It's the vanilla that gives it real magic." A wave of awe swept through the crowd. The children leaned in closer, faces lighting up like a scene from a fairy tale. "Can I help you someday?" a little girl asked, eyes sparkling. Mr. Harris chuckled, and in that moment, the weight of the world seemed to lift off his shoulders. The playful banter transformed something stiff within him, revealing a man who had perhaps forgotten what community felt like. Lily couldn't hold back her smile. She knew this was just the start. But scarcely had the laughter begun to bloom when the mayor stepped forward, arms crossed tightly over his chest. "This is highly irregular," he announced loudly, silencing the happy chatter. "A candy party without permission? You know how this town runs, Mr. Harris." A different kind of tension gripped the square. The smiles faded slightly as people turned to gauge Mr. Harris's reaction. Mr. Harris's eyes flashed with a mix of confusion and defiance. He looked from the mayor's stern face back to the crowd, so many hopeful faces reliant on this moment. "Maybe," he started, voice steadying even as the unease prickled the air. "Maybe it's time we rethink what we allow in this town." Lily's heart raced again, mixing hope and fear like colorful marbles. Could he truly challenge the mayor's authority? The weight of what he was doing hung in the air. Would Mr. Harris stand up, or would he succumb to the pressure? The mayor's expression hardened, but so did Mr. Harris's resolve. "Good things can come from celebration. And candy," he continued, meeting Lily's gaze, drawing strength from their connection. At that moment the bell tolled again, louder and more resonant than before. It was as if the town itself held its breath in anticipation, teetering on the edge of change. Would Mr. Harris's brave stand spark a transformation in the community? Or would the reality of town politics pull him back into the shadows? With the air thick with questions and unspoken fears, the crowd remained silent, waiting for the next move. Mr. Harris took a deep breath, and the world seemed to slow down around him. He could feel the weight of the crowd's eyes, their hopes clinging to him like wisps of cotton candy. The mayor's stern presence loomed over him, but something within him began to simmer, a heat that felt so unlike the cool sweetness of the cherry fizz he adored. "You can't just stifle joy, Mayor," he said, voice rising with newfound confidence. "This community needs moments like this where we can come together, share stories, create lasting memories." There was a ripple through the crowd, a collective shift as people leaned in, energy crackling in the air. The mayor opened his mouth, ready to counter, but Mr. Harris pressed on. "When was the last time you truly saw us, Mayor? Not as numbers on a budget sheet, but as people. Families that deserve to celebrate? That's what Lily's candy is about. It's more than just sugar. It's about connection." Lily's heart soared at the sound of Mr. Harris's words. Each one rang with truth, and she could sense the crowd rallying behind him. They began to murmur in agreement, faces brightening with recognition. This was their life, their joy, and it mattered. "Do you remember the last summer festival?" an older man in the crowd shouted. "When we all came together to celebrate." His voice was thick with nostalgia, and soon others began to chime in, recounting stories of laughter, food, and connection moments that had long been buried beneath a mountain of rules and regulations. As Mr. Harris spoke, Lily saw the mayor's frown deepen even further. The challenge was undeniable, and for a moment, the mayor looked less like a powerful figure and more like a man cornered by the very people he was meant to serve. This realization sparked a flicker of hope in Lily. "Why don't we make it official?" Mr. Harris continued, his voice rising in passion. "Let us bring joy back to our town. A candy festival, a summer celebration. We'll turn the square into a place of wonder, a space where everyone can come together and create magic, just like Lily has done here today." Cheers erupted from the crowd, ecstatic cries echoing through the square. The children clapped and squealed, jumping up and down, their excitement contagious. Mr. Harris looked amazed for a moment, but then, he met Lily's eye again, and she could see a glimmer of belief dawning on him. Perhaps he truly believed in the magic he was proposing. But even in those joyous moments, the mayor shifted awkwardly, his face hardening into an unmoving mask. "A festival, you say?" he muttered, waving a dismissive hand. "This will lead to chaos. I won't allow it." Lily felt the air tighten again, infused with tension. Could Mr. Harris stand firm against the mayor's authority when the stakes were so high? Would the joy of the crowd be enough to sway the tide? Or would this moment of hope slip like grains of sand through their fingers? Just as she began to doubt, Mr. Harris stepped forward, his voice steady yet vulnerable. "What if we give it a chance? What if it could be the spark we need, a way to come together and heal? You could help us rather than stop us." The crowd hushed, breath held, eyes darting from one man to the other. Would the mayor turn the tide back toward conformity, or would he consider the voices of his constituents? Lily's heart pounded wildly. The words that could change everything hung heavily in the air, waiting to be spoken. Could they really reshape their community? Or would they retreat into the familiar rhythms of fear and control? As the energy in the square built, every eye was on the mayor, and Lily prayed for a miracle. The mayor hesitated, his brow furrowed. For a fleeting second, it looked like doubt flickered in his eyes. The murmurs of the crowd filled the silence, a tide of collective hope cresting toward the man in charge. "You really think a festival could change things?" he asked, his voice low but edged with uncertainty. "After all we've been through? What makes you believe we won't just fall back into our old habits?" Mr. Harris stepped closer, undeterred, the sincerity radiating from him like sunlight. "Because we're here standing together. Look at these faces, each one tells a story, a history and a future. We're tired of living in fear, Mayor. We want to celebrate life, not just survive it." Lily could see the tension in the mayor's jaw, the battle raging within him. She felt it in her own heart, the desire to believe that something greater was possible. The square, filled with cheerful laughter and wild dreams, seemed to pulse with life, pushing back against the shadows that had loomed for too long. "Imagine," Mr. Harris continued, his tone softer now, almost pleading. "Children running through the streets, laughter in the air, neighbors hugging each other, sharing candy, sharing joy. What could be more powerful than that?" The crowd erupted again, their voices rising like a symphony of hope. "Let us celebrate," someone shouted. Lily's heart raced as she watched the mayor chew on these ideas, wrestling with the weight of his position. The mayor's role was to oversee, to control, but he was also meant to serve. What if he could use his authority to inspire rather than restrain? "Fine," the mayor finally blurted, those syllables cutting through the air like thunder. "But it needs to be organized. I won't allow chaos, and I'll need your full cooperation, Mr. Harris. This better not turn into a free-for-all." A wave of cheer crashed around the square, not just for the promise of the festival, but also for the fleeting belief that they might be able to shape their community together. Lily's eyes sparkled with joy and relief, an overwhelming feeling surging through her. Something had shifted tonight. They had fought for this moment, and they had won a small battle against the darkness. "You won't regret it," Mr. Harris said, extending a hand to the mayor, who reluctantly accepted it. "Together we can create something incredible." Lily felt a thrill of excitement swell within her. The idea of shares, co-creators, and connections danced in her mind. The weight of responsibility was heavy, but the promise of joy felt lighter than air. As the crowd began to disperse amid jubilant chatter, Lily stood there, buzzing with the unfolding possibilities. That's when she noticed, just behind the mayor, a figure she'd never seen in person before, a stern-looking woman with ink-black hair and a resolute expression. She was watching, her gaze piercing the jubilance like a hawk identifying its prey. Lily's heart sank slightly. Something about this woman felt wrong, a discordant note in the otherwise joyful harmony of the festival spirit. She pressed her lips together, suddenly feeling a chill. "Who is that?" she whispered to a neighbor who merely shrugged in confusion. As the crowd proceeded with plans of balloons, games, and candy stands, a nagging curiosity gnawed at Lily's mind. What did this newcomer want? Did she hold the power to unravel everything they had just begun to build? The festival might have been a chance for celebration, but did it bring danger along with it? With hope and apprehension intertwining, Lily's gaze lingered on the dark-eyed woman. The day had changed, but shadows still lurked, and she knew deep down that the real struggle had yet to come. Would they be able to protect the spirit of their newfound joy? Or would unseen forces threaten to snatch it all away? With resolve igniting within her, Lily understood that her journey had just begun. The next morning, sunlight filtered through Lily's window, dancing across her room. But the warmth couldn't chase away the chill she felt from the woman's penetrating stare. Was it just her imagination? Or did that stranger carry an aura of authority mingled with a threat? As Lily got ready for the day, her mind flitted between thoughts of the festival and the mysterious woman. She dressed quickly, the vibrant colors of her outfit stark against the growing unease inside her. Today would be the first real meeting after the mayor's announcement. Everyone would gather to plan and discuss the festival's details. At the community center, excitement buzzed in the air like static. Tables filled with residents buzzed with laughter and brainstorming sessions. Lily joined a group of kids her age. Despite the joy surrounding her, she couldn't shake that feeling of disquiet. "Hey Lily, what do you think about a candy apple stand?" Mia, her best friend, gushed. "I think that sounds amazing." Lily forced a grin, though her heart wasn't in it. But just then the double doors swung open, and the room collectively turned. There stood the stern woman from the square. Her dark hair framed her face sharply, and her presence commanded attention. "I'm Angela Shaw," she introduced herself, her tone firm yet inviting. "I'm here to help coordinate the festival with Mayor Thompson. There needs to be order." The murmurs in the room turned uncertain. Lily could read the room like a book. People felt the tension in Angela's voice. "Order." One man called out, brows furrowed with suspicion. "This is supposed to be about celebration." Angela's eyes narrowed slightly. "Celebration comes with responsibility. I know these gatherings can easily spiral out of control. I intend to ensure that the festival proceeds without chaos." That was it. The reminder of chaos conjured memories of fear that had plagued their community. Lily felt her heart race, the mix of defiance and determination swelling up within her. She couldn't let this festival be dampened by fear or overbearing oversight. "I think we can have fun without chaos," Lily interjected, her voice shaking but bold. "People want to celebrate. We need to believe in each other, not fear." Angela's gaze shot toward her, sharp as a knife. For a moment the room held its breath. Would this woman dismiss a child's impassioned plea? Instead, Angela seemed to soften just a fraction. "I appreciate your enthusiasm, young lady. You'll need to convince me that this isn't just a dream." As the meeting continued, Lily listened to plans for games, booths, and food. But in the back of her mind, a sense of dissent grew. She couldn't shake the feeling that Angela was not there just to help. There was something behind her firm resolve, a promise of oversight that felt more like control. Hours later, as the group dispersed, Lily felt like a balloon tethered to the ground. Excitement lingered, but apprehension tagged along like an unwanted shadow. She stepped outside into the warm sun, preparing to share the plans with her little brother Tommy. But as she pulled out her phone to call him, she spotted Angela crossing the street, heading toward the edge of the park. There was something off about her. Why was she walking away? What did she know that they didn't? Lily felt a tug of curiosity. What if? She whispered to herself as she set off after the woman. The festival could change everything, but at what cost? And did Angela hold the answers hidden in her past? As she followed her, pulse racing with each step, Lily sensed that she was stepping deeper into a web of secrets. And secrets had a way of being unraveled. Lily's heart raced as she followed Angela through the sunny park. Curiosity etched in her thoughts. It was strange enough that the festival was finally becoming a reality, but now every glance at the woman ahead sent a chill down her spine. What were her true intentions? The path meandered past whispering trees and colorful flowers, but every whispered breeze felt heavy with hidden meanings. Angela reached a secluded area tucked away from the crowd, and Lily hesitated, heart pounding. This felt too intense, too close to the edge. She wanted to retreat, but a flicker of determination sparked inside her. She had fought for this moment. She wouldn't let fear shackle her now. Gathering her courage, Lily approached the edge of the clearing. Angela stood with her back to her, focused on something in the distance, her posture radiating confidence and control. "Miss Shaw," Lily called out, her voice breaking the silence. Angela turned, surprise flickering across her face, but it quickly morphed into a subtle smirk. "Lily, right? Her voice was smooth, but there was an edge to it. To what do I owe this unexpected visit? I wanted to know what you're really doing here, Lily admitted, her voice steadier than she felt. Is this about the festival? Or is there something more? Angela studied her for a moment, as if evaluating a puzzle piece that didn't quite fit. Perhaps both, she replied slowly, her eyes narrowing slightly. Control is necessary in life, especially when bringing a crowd together. Joy isn't enough. Discipline is vital. You wouldn't want things to get out of hand, would you? Lily stood tall. People deserve to celebrate freely. This festival is about happiness and connection, not restrictions. Angela let out a soft laugh, but it lacked warmth. You think they can separate chaos from joy? I've seen it spiral too many times and it doesn't end well. That's not fair. If we come together, celebrate as a community, then we can shape our own joy, Lily replied, her voice rising with enthusiasm, desperation tinging her words. The air thickened between them as Angela's demeanor shifted, cutting like ice through the warmth surrounding them. What do you know about what it takes to lead? Trust is earned through vigilance, not blind faith. You say you want happiness, but I bet you have no idea how fragile that happiness can be. Lily's frustration bubbled. But hiding behind rules won't protect anyone. We just want to bring light back into our town. There's power in community and shared joy. In that moment, a flicker crossed Angela's expression, a hint of something human. A possible glimpse behind the facade. Lily seized the moment. You could help us build that joy instead of dictate it. Think of what this festival can mean, the smiles it'll bring. Aren't you tired of living in fear of chaos? Angela paused, eyes narrowing. It's not fear, it's experience. The tension in the air seemed to shift. It was a moment's hesitation, where Lily felt hope rise like a wave. What if she could get through even a little? Then let us show you, Lily pleaded, her heart racing. We can guide the community together, change the narrative. Help us make this festival a reflection of who we are, not what we're scared of. For a moment, time hung suspended, the vibrant colors around them blurring into the background. Would Angela open her heart? Or would she cling to her fears? Maybe, Angela began, her voice softening. Then abruptly she shook her head. If the festival unfolds into chaos, it will be on your hands. Lily felt the sting of disappointment but didn't show it. Then let me prove it to you, help us plan it, and if anything goes wrong you can step in. Give us that chance. The moment hung in the air like ripe fruit ready to drop. If you can deliver joy, I will give you the reins to shape this festival, but only if you can gather solid backing from the town, Angela finally said, voice steady but cautious. Relief flooded through Lily, mixed with the tension of proving herself. I will. Together, we'll make it something everyone can rally behind. Just remember, my eyes will be on you, Lily. Don't take this lightly, Angela reminded her, but even then, something in her voice gave Lily a thread of hope. With newfound determination, Lily felt as if she were standing on a precipice, ready to leap into the unknown. As she turned to head back toward the crowd, something shifted within her. She could feel the weight of the challenge ahead. It was grounding, electric. She would gather the support she needed. Everyone would come together to celebrate unlike ever before. The day of the festival arrived, and the square buzzed with colors, laughter, and joy. Families strolled by the booths bursting with candy, dancing to music and enjoying games. Smiling faces sparkled like stars against a deep blue sky. Lily stood at her candy stand surrounded by friends, her heart swelling with purpose. The tension that once lined Angela's brows began to fade as she saw the town embracing what they had collectively built. Every giggle, every exchange breathed life into her hopes. Would Angela realize that joy thrived in the openness of community rather than its control? Then, just as the music swelled and a crowd gathered for the opening speech, Lily saw Angela standing off to the side, arms crossed. She edged forward, heart racing once more. For this moment mattered. It was their singular chance to crystallize everything they had fought for. Everyone, Lily shouted, her voice ringing out with honor. Today is a celebration of us, our stories, dreams, and connections. Let us revel in the magic we create together. The square erupted in cheers, and Angela's posture visibly softened. Together we can build joy. Lily continued, locking onto Angela's gaze. Let us make memories that unite us, defy chaos, and celebrate who we truly are. The festival wasn't just about candy. It was about people. It was about hope finding a way through darkness and fear, about choices made together, and connections carved in sweet laughter. As laughter rippled through the square, something shifted in Angela. The corners of her mouth twitched upward, hinting at a smile. Maybe they could transform not only the festival, but also the underlying fears that once kept them tethered. In that beautiful moment of unity, the crowd radiated warmth, and Lily felt everything she had fought for come alive. They had made a choice, and this time joy won. With every bubble of hope around her, she finally let out the breath she had been holding since the journey began. They were not just singing a sweet tune of triumph. They were weaving a tapestry of connection, resilience, and joy. As the sun set over Maplewood, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Lily held her chin up high, her heart full. This was just the beginning. Every sweet victory was a promise, and they would carry it forward together. "Remember, you have the power to bring change," she whispered to herself, embracing the possibility of more sweetness to come. And together, they would never let fear overshadow their love for community, each other, and the shared dreams that sweeten the fabric of their lives. Now's the time to make your move. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you won't miss the next exclusive stories that inspire. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm your support. Comment below your thoughts on the ending, and let us feel the emotion you've carried with you. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second to share. Together we can create a wave of inspiration. The power of community is in our hands.